And we are live. What is up, everybody? Aaron, the dog, I don't really know what I am. Well, I guess we're in not the Apex, but this is about as Apex of a not Apex card as you're going to get. Honestly, this isn't a great card. It's headlined by Namajunas and Tracy Cortez at 125 because why not? A lot of short notice replacements. We got two of the panelists here. We might be joined by Lou. We'll see. That's all good. But Lucky Locks drew the short straw. He showed up first tonight. He got the hat memo. I'm going to assume 2 cents is also in the hat. Lucky Locks, how you doing?
Doing well, man. Looking forward to getting back into the swing of things here. Feeling good after the last one. I gave out 3 picks and 3 different promotions on the last show. We got all 3. So feeling good about that. And hopefully we give it a couple more tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Not surprised. I tailed you on all 3 of those as well. So, as usual, pleasure doing business with you, Lucky. 2 cents. How you doing coming off of the last breakdown a couple weeks ago?
I'm good, man. First and foremost, shout out to you and thank you for having me. Shout out to you, Lucky. Anybody watching, peace to the chat. Make sure y'all smash the like button for Aaron. I definitely needed that week off, and I feel better to be back talking fights again, but it's this card, so it is what it is, man. But yeah, we're gonna get Rocky Mountain High this week, boys. It's UFC Denver, and yeah, I did not get the hat memo. I could just lie to you and tell you that I was wearing one right now, but I would rather quit you than shit you.
You're not a real capper.
I know. I'm not a real quote unquote capper in both senses of the words, but yeah, man, I'm happy to be here. Shout out to you.
So, yeah, I mean, this card, will keep it real. We always do. This card, not a great card at all. Like, frankly, they probably should have taken another week off and given everybody their money back in Denver and built up another card. But instead of doing that, we've got a fight at 170 to begin. And does anybody have a line on Darius Flowers and Evan Edler right now? If you do, Elder right now. Okay. Just out of curiosity.
Not showing up. It's like he was minus 340 something. One sec. He's minus 410. Minus 410.
Who? Darius Flowers?
Evan Elder. Evan Elder minus 410.
Oh no, they're trying. Oh no. So that's insane. No one should be minus 410 in this fight. Let me say that right off the bat. The first question of why this fight is happening. I don't know. It was made on a week's notice. I think, and it's at 170 as well. The thing is, I think there's just too many unknowns here for any fighter to be minus 410 in this position. With it being at 170, I think that is a slight advantage to Darius Flowers. I do think that his energy is significantly zapped at 155 or 156, which he got to one time in the UFC. I think that his only chance really is going to be to blitz or get into a brawl type of fight. But typically he's exploited by grapplers, and Evan Edler is not this prize grappler, but I think he's a good enough grappler to submit Darius Flowers, honestly. That's going to be his weakness in pretty much every fight. But I'm going to take a shot on Darius Flowers here. I'm not betting it, but I'm taking a shot as in picking him. Darius Flowers, round 2 TKO. Why not? For the culture, because it pays more. And a rare appearance by Zach Johnson, my new bestie. Lucky, thoughts on this really high quality 1 week or 7-day, 5-day made matchup at 170?
Yeah. I mean, I really don't have that much to say about it considering it was just announced today. So off the top of my head, I'm not really that high on Flowers. I don't think he offers a whole ton at the UFC level. Elder's all right. He beat Gennaro Valdez in his last fight, and I think he was probably on his way to beating Nazim Sajikov the fight before he got stopped on a cut. Like I said, I'm just not that high on Flowers. His best win obviously was on Contender Series against Amaran Gogoladze. Aaron, congrats to you. You played a gigantic number and got rewarded like you should have been. But I think we would probably both agree that slam win isn't really a particularly repeatable outcome there. I just really haven't thought that much about this fight. Elder's the favorite, which I agree with, but it's a pretty big favorite. So obviously I'm not going to be playing it. But I won't be playing Flowers either. So I'll pick Elder to win, and betting wise, it's a pass.
Yeah, no, I agree most of this, but yeah, plus 310 on Flowers. It's tempting. I'm gonna, control myself though. 2 cents, what's your thoughts off the dome on this fight that honestly shouldn't be happening?
What the fuck is my first thoughts in a few different categories. Not saying Elder shouldn't be the favorite. Not saying I'm betting fucking Darius Flowers, but yeah, that line's a little insane. Probably Elder wins a decision, but I could see Flowers knocking him out too, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, Flowers, like, I'm not gonna lie. I still love Darius Flowers. This is not how I envisioned my miraculous Darius Flowers run happening after Contender Series. I'll admit it. But at the same point, he had Michael Johnson in trouble in the 3rd round in that fight, even. Like, he really did. And I get it, it's Michael Johnson. But still, Michael Johnson, very good veteran. Like, going from that to Evan Edler. Evan Edler has the Gustafsson syndrome as well, where his best win is that loss against Azim. I get it. He was on his way to winning. I remember that. I had many people who were talking about. I get it. But that could have just been his best showing there, and we'll just see. Minus 410 is stupid.
Yeah, so, Flowers are passed from a betting standpoint for sure.
Yeah, we've already talked about this fight too long. We're going to move on to the next fight. I'm just excited because I'm a Darius Flowers fan. But otherwise, at elevation where he said he wasn't going to come back to, at a weight class that he probably should be at, there's just too many unknowns. So
yeah, that's a forcing of the air in the puppy paw,
Yeah,
forcing of the paw.
Yeah, and I'm not. I read you there loud and clear. I'm going to pass there. Moving on to the next fight. I mean, this is a very good Invicta fight. This should be an Invicta headliner fight. No, Jasmine Jasudavicius, good Canadian MMA, WMMA fighter, almost like I would say near, maybe not pioneer, but just, the next kind of generation after Pioneer, taking on the young, up-and-coming 115 fighter who's moving up a weight class to 125 for this debut in Fatima Klein, very, very hyped prospect, good grappler. Honestly, hasn't really faced a huge level of competition up to this point. Moving up in weight, there's kind of some unknowns there for me that make me a little bit worried, but I do think she has a lot of promise as she goes. I don't think this is necessarily a terrible loss if she gets it. I've got to just go with the actual 125er, much more experience, just huge physical edge for Jasmine Jasudavicius, and I just think she's better overall in MMA. So Jasmine for me, and I don't really get this line movement completely. I feel like it's new toy syndrome, but I haven't put a bet in on it yet, but seems like a possible John Lee candidate in Jasmine at this price, especially. 2 cents. Is the coin coming out?
Dude, so I was not familiar with Fatima Klein until this fight got announced and did some tape study, and I really like what I saw on tape from her. She got a nice crispy 1-2. Mm-hmm. She uses it to, flow nicely into the takedown attempts. But like you said, she's, she has an unblemished record, but she hasn't really fought anybody. On tape, her striking kind of looks better than Jasmine's, but Jasmine's tough, and she's pretty dogged, and I don't know, man. I could see her just like fence pushing and like ratting out a decision, and the line is kind of weird. And you know what, boys? It fits the category. It fits the criteria, rather. And it has been a few weeks maybe since the coin came out. I'm trying to remember if it came out for 303 or not, but in any case, nevertheless, it's coming out right fucking now. The coin is making its first appearance in at least a week or so.
Yeah,
because I just don't know. This could be, a breaking out party for Fatima Klein, or she could just be, like you said, new toy syndrome. She could be a little fraudulent. So we're going to find out, because it seems like, the UFC thinks highly enough of her to give her a decent enough opponent on her first outing like Jasmine. So we'll see what we got here. I'm going to see what the coin says. The coin will speak. And we will – I'll go ahead and make I know Fatima Klein's the favorite, but I'll give Jasmine the respect of the because she probably should be the favorite if you ask me. So yeah,
Yeah,
Jasmine.
this is nearly a -110 pick'em now. This is crazy.
That's pretty wild. So yeah, I'll make Jasmine heads, and Fatima Klein will be tails. The coin will speak, boys. Smash the like button for Aaron the dog.
I really want to be with the coin here, especially if it's going in the Zhang.
And it is Fatima Klein.
Fuck. Disappointment. Okay, well, that's fine. I kind of like the coin being on the side of the echo chamber.
Dude, the coin, I think the coin might have lost the last time out, too.
Does the coin have an X account now?
The coin does not have an X account, but it might be opening an OnlyFans account soon. So we'll have to,
I know Fatima opened as, I think, nearly a +200 dog. Lucky, what's your thoughts on this one? I know that you're familiar with Fatima as well.
Yeah, very familiar with her. So, I mean, Jasmine was supposed to face Viviane Araújo in this spot. She gets a short nose replacement in Klein. And I mean, I think this definitely is a tougher matchup than Araújo, in my opinion. It's reflected in the line here. Klein is very highly touted. She's undefeated. She's 24 years old. She's the double champ in CFFC at 115 and 125. She has really good wrestling, really good jiu-jitsu, developing stand-up game as well. The issue is that, she's a natural 115 pounder. So taking a short notice fight up a weight class. And, I know she has a belt at this weight on the regionals, but that was more just because, nobody wants to fight her on the regionals. And she was like, I could just not cut weight and go beat whoever they put in front of me for this belt. She's not actually trying to compete at this weight going forward. And she said that herself. So she was just kind of that much better than everybody in the regionals that she could just go do it for fun. So this is a tough matchup on short notice at 125 because, Jasmine is very physically imposing at this weight. She pushes a high pace. And Klein supposedly is training for her Contender Series fight, but it is a ways away from this date. So it's a bit of an awkward spot. And it's kind of like Felipe Lima versus Naimov a few weeks back where I don't think Jasmine is any type of mega high level rising star. She's 35. She has some physicality. She has some pace. Klein, in my opinion, is, the better striker, better jiu-jitsu player. And, similar to Lima and Naimov, I know Klein is much more skilled than Jasmine. I know she projects a lot higher as a UFC fighter than Jasmine does, but she has a few, built-in disadvantages coming into this one. And, I really like Jasmine. I've always rooted for her in her career. I don't really see Klein submitting her here. I think it probably goes 3 rounds, but I think the fight's lined pretty accurately. I'd make Klein probably even money favorite here. I'll pick her to win, but it's not really an optimal circumstance to be betting money on her in this one. And I certainly won't be doing it. So it'll be interesting to see how this one shakes out.
Yeah, it definitely does feel similar to the Naimov spot, which Naimov should have won that fight. But that's neither here nor there. Good job to Lima here. And hold on. All right. And we will be joined by Lou Betcha here in a few moments. But we'll move on to the next fight. -110 on both sides here. Right now, the Zhongli has 0 fighters in it. So gonna move on to the next fight here. This one kind of another I don't know fight for me, honestly, because with Montel Jackson, he does kind of have moments of brilliance, but a lot of kind of moments where he is just kind of lacking a little bit, runs out of gas. The Brett Johns fight is hard to kind of forgive here. And, even though he's rattled off 4 straight since then, I still kind of have some serious questions there. Damon Blackshear, though, kind of has had some weird moments in all of his fights. They draw against Salal as well, but it's just kind of one of these fights where I feel that they're going to kind of cancel each other out for the most part. I don't think that, and I'm just going to bring on Mr. Lou Betcha, making his appearance for his doppelganger fight here in Montel Jackson and Damon. So good to see you, buddy. Thanks for making it onto this amazing card. I'm just
of course.
Yeah. And you've missed nothing so far. You missed me picking.
What fights did I miss for the 45-second here on my bets? Did we get to Elder Flowers yet?
Flowers is the opener, so yes, we already got to that. What's your thoughts on that fight, real quick?
How many fights did I miss? 3?
2.
Okay. Flowers, crazy at the number for a short fucking nonsense fight. How if you're not betting Flowers, you don't understand gambling.
Yep.
And I'm not a Flowers guy like you, but plus
Right.
400 is just outrageous for this kind of fight. What's the other one I missed? Petrowski?
And then Jasmine versus Fatima.
Wait, it's a prove it spot to me. The line movements like DWCS shit. I can't like. I think Klein wins. I think she's more skilled. I've never liked Jacita Vicious, but this line movement just makes me like scared. So there you go.
Yep. Thank you for catching up. Yeah. And then Montel Jackson and Blackshear. Basically, I feel this is a fight where I think for the most part, I'd be surprised if the grappling is a big part of it, especially early on. If Jackson or Blackshear kind of struggles with the altitude, which I could see Blackshear particularly struggling with as he struggled in his last couple fights with kind of completing the full fight. I just think Montel Jackson is the much better fighter here. I think he physically has some edges as well. And I'm just not a big Damon Blackshear believer. So I got Jackson here and thinking about a possible KO play here because I do think the stand-up is pretty wide as well. So, Lou, we just asked you about the first two, but I'll start with you just to keep the rotation. So, Lou.
So I don't agree with you, but my bet aligns with you. I actually like the under here, weirdly, because I think Blackshear does like Montel Jackson on the feet. This is one-way traffic with him, but I don't love Montel Jackson's takedown defense. And Blackshear, like, look, man, he's had these weird fights where, like the Zalal fight, yeah, he gassed bad. But it took the Batista fight on like 3 days and like was competitive. Like it's tough with Blackshear. Like Aaron, I feel like as always, I like to call out Lucky just because I like Lucky and he's good at this whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
But I also love my partner in the Dangerous Alliance, 2 Cents.
So, buddy.
I feel like Blackshear is one of these dudes. If he's like plus 300, I love to bet him. And if it's a closely lined fight, I'm just not sure. I want to go against the grain here, and I like the fight doesn't go. Because to your point, Aaron, I think that like Montel could probably KO him.
Mm-hmm.
But if Blackshear gets takedowns immediately, I even gave this out. I think this like bullshit prop on a sub or a twister is like, I think Blackshear could like control him. It's binary. It's like, well, how does it play out? Like if Blackshear's getting takedowns early, I don't think Jackson looks good. But I also don't think that Blackshear is like this great elite grappler who it's like we're assuming he's going to get takedowns. Like he's not.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I mean, it seems like a good live bet spot after the first takedown attempt.
But if it stays standing, I think the Jackson KO probably happens. And if it doesn't stay standing, I think Blackshear just like kind of F's him up. So I like it. I like the plus money on the fight doesn't go. And this whole thing, like, look, man, all these scrubs in the community are like, well, Blackshear's never been finished. It's like, okay, but his level of competition is going up. And that Batista fight, in all fairness, Batista, I think, is kind of overrated too. And he at no point did he attempt to finish. Batista's this killer of like the Kelleher's.
Right.
Blackshear's good enough. I think we get a finish here, and I think I like the plus money on it. So Lucky, my guy, the bare knuckle fighting king. Dude, I don't know what you guys did before I got on, but like somebody has to bust his balls.
No, he's coming off a 3-for-3 recommendation. There's no.
I know, but somebody's got to bust his balls. He's getting away too easy with being a nice guy. He's getting away with it too easy.
No, he's just better than us. Lucky, go ahead and break down the fights. Ignore this nonsense. I know.
Yeah. I mean, Lou hit me up for BKFC Temecula, man, and we'll see if we can get something in. But yeah, Jackson and Blackshear. I'll be honest, I was kind of surprised at this line, and it makes me think I'm wrong, actually. So I'm kind of wondering what people know that I don't know. I just would have thought we would see Montel Jackson probably as a heavier favorite. in the spot. I think Blackshear's good. I'm not like majorly high on him really. I think he's kind of middling. He can hang with good guys. I'm not sure how much upside he really has against the upper echelon of the UFC. And he's on short notice here again. Montel Jackson, I think is talented. I think he's actually a little bit underrated. And I get that some of his wins have been bad fighters, but Blackshear beat Jose Johnson, who's not good. And to be fair, Luan Lacerda is actually all right. But I feel like Julio Arce, especially at the time, was a better win than those guys. And Jackson was able to get that done. I think Arce was, pronouncedly a tougher fight than Blackshear. And Arce is a guy that beat like Dan Ige, beat Willie Cott Santos. I think Jackson's a better striker. Blackshear can definitely push a pace and hang in, but Jackson's the better fighter standing for me. Blackshear, obviously the better submission grappler. He's got good back takes. He's got good passing ability in general, but Jackson, I don't think he's completely horrible in the wrestling. He has come up against some tough guys that have put him in bad spots there before. But yeah, honestly, I thought we would probably see Jackson at minus 200. So, I'm feeling like I might be wrong in this one. Sometimes I'm wrong. I give my opinion. I base my bets off my opinion, but I'm not always right. Sometimes I see a line that I think should be higher and I go, yeah, this is wrong. I'm going to jam it. Sometimes I see it and just think, maybe I'm just wrong here. So maybe I don't really get anywhere with this fight other than watching as a fan, but I like the Jackson side between the two.
Yeah, fair enough. And 2 cents. What's your thoughts on this one right here?
You know what, Lucky? I like the Jackson side too, but I'm really glad that you're here. I was a little disappointed at first. I thought I wasn't going to be able to get terse with my my tag team partner, but yeah, the Dangerous Alliance is here in full effect. So yeah, y'all pretty much covered it, man. I like the Jackson side. He is my leg of the pub parlay this week, and I like I said, y'all covered it. The short notice for Blackshear is not good. The fact that he already has shown that he starts to wane in the third round, and the fact that a lot of the dudes he's fighting, like Mario Batista's a good fighter, he's a pretty good striker, but with his hands, dude, he can't punch his way out of a fucking wet paper bag, and neither can some of the I know Zalal's been looking better lately, but he was kind of had a reputation as a decisionator or whatever. So yeah, Jackson's way heavier handed. So I think even if he doesn't get the knockout, he can win a decision just having the moments. I do think he will drop Blackshear at some point, even if he doesn't just straight spark him out. And I think, yeah, there is a chance he can knock him out for sure. And Montel Jackson isn't this horrible grappler either. I think Blackshear is probably the better sub grappler, but Jackson is not a fish out of water on the ground, I don't think. I just, I would give Blackshear the edge, but I give Jackson, a considerable edge on the feet with power and all that. So yeah, give me Montel Jackson. Like I say, he's in a parlay already for me. So yeah, let's fucking go. But yeah, I mean, Blackshear is good.
Yeah, the under 2.5 at plus 165, I don't mind either, honestly, because it does, I do feel like for Blackshear, I could very well see Blackshear kind of snatching the back in the third round and taking this just from exhaustion from Jackson, to be honest with you. I think this could be a fight where the Denver altitude could come into effect. That being said, Montel Jackson, the first official leg of the Zhang parlay, because we got to pick 5 on this card, and this is about as good as it's going to get. Minus 142 to Montel, but a lot of money coming in on Blackshear, so might wait to see if I can get a better bet, but I do think Jackson is the side. Next fight, very good, but albeit short notice, 125 fight here between Joshua Van, Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson on a little bit of resurgence in the last couple, looking pretty good against Azamat Maksum, and then Jake Headley, which definitely a fight that, I was on the Charles Johnson side on going into, and I do feel that he got a little bit of a rough, go of it immediately coming into UFC, but, coming in his, early 30s at 125, it's kind of now or never for him. Joshua Van so far looking very, very good in these fights. It took August Salal on short notice. The next fight, I'm blanking on who, the Kevin Borjas fight. I definitely saw some, kind of concerning aspects to his game that I do think eventually will get exposed as he takes a step up here in competition. I think this is going to be a very, very good fight. I think this is an extremely close fight. I do think Charles Johnson has some advantages in terms of overall level of competition he's faced through his career still. I think that although, he is 11 years older, a little bit worried about that as well. I just kind of can't pass Charles Johnson. I think the momentum is legit for him right now. He's putting in a ton of work, and I do think he's still got a couple more years left in this division, I think, to kind of make a run towards kind of possible contention. I do think Van's going to have some learning blocks, younger in his career still. We saw a lot of them in that poor Haas fight. I just think that Charles Johnson's on a bit of a momentum right now. It's a dog that I've thought about putting a bet on in Charles Johnson as well. I think it's going to be a close fight, though. Could very well be a split. These guys are very close. I do think overall where Van's going to get exploited is in the grappling eventually, but I just think Charles Johnson gives a bet check here. So I got Charles Johnson. Probably going to get a bet on him at some point here. So 2 cents.
So I'm on the other side, but I do think it's a close fight. I think it's a good fight. I think it's one of the better fights or one of the fights on the card I'm more excited about, just because Johnson has kind of, put a little, 2-fight win streak together here kind of quietly. And, he does have the experience advantage by quite a bit. But Van's only 22, dude. And sometimes Johnson just fights so fucking close. And Hadley is fucking fraudulent to me. I think Van is actually the fucking goods. I don't know, dude, as that Maxim sat him down, I think Van can hurt him too. It's just Johnson fights too close to me. I saw the line and I was like, man, I think Johnson's live, so I don't hate it. But for me, man, I like Van here. I think he is, because he's only 22. Every time we see him, I think he is going to look better. Maybe not expa fucking mentally, but I think he's going to look a little better than he looked last time. And yeah, the fact that Johnson fights so close and they're both slow starters, I do think it's going to go to split. I think it just screams fucking greasy split decision. But give me Josh Van for landing a couple more telling strikes. But I think this is a good one, man, and I don't hate anybody for backing the dog and Charles Johnson here.
Yeah, Charles Johnson is, I don't know. I think he's very much aware of where he's at in his career too. So I think that could play a factor. I mean, Van can afford to lose this fight much more than Johnson as well, and to me, I just think Van, Noah just took it on my mouth, very hittable as well. I think he could kind of get into a war with Charles, and I think Charles is very willing to kind of take it there. And I think in the third round, he has the cardio advantage as well. Even being 11 years older, I still give the cardio edge to Charles. So, Lou.
Yeah, I'm with you, Aaron. I already bet the Johnson side at plus 175. And it's not to say that 2 cents isn't making good points, that Van's not going to level up. But this is kind of like an auto gambling bet where you're getting a fight where the over is juiced and it's going to be close margins in the striking. I joked with people, I'm like, are we going to get the first ever 9-9 round one in the UFC? It's a battle of two guys that just refuse to win round one. Johnson's cardio is good. To your point, Aaron, if we're talking about a small margins fight, Johnson could throw a takedown in there and steal rounds. Mm-hmm. And I also think, to your point, that Van losing here is not a big deal. Johnson's kind of he's got a full camp, which has been rare for him. And he's fighting in front of a crowd, which has been rare for him. And, look, man, I respect guys like Charles Johnson. He's a grinder. He does a little too much on social media where he fucking deals with people. And I think guys need to, I think a lot of fighters just need to get off that whole thing. Mm-hmm. Why are you listening to people on Twitter, man? Just get off Twitter and fight. But more importantly, I don't think there's no separation here in terms of they're probably going to land. They can very much land the exact same amount of strikes. If there's any grappling with Johnson, I mean, give me the dog. It's an auto play just in terms of being a gambler. Of course I'm going to take the dog, and what's probably going to a split decision. And by the way, don't bet the split here. It's going to be plus 250. You're not getting any value on a split here. So I like the Johnson side. I'll take my and by the way, if it goes to a split, you did the right thing. You got the plus money. So I get what 2 cents is saying. I really do. I respect it. This is a bet for me that's just like, I think the fight's so close that I have to take the plus money. Like, even if I don't really think that Johnson's like, nobody's going to dominate here. So,
dude, I don't fucking begrudge y'all a bit because I think it is going to be the splittiest split that ever fucking split. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I get it, dude.
It'll be greasy. It'll be greasy.
Because I think it's just going to be fucking. It is going to be splitting hairs, Donnie. Like the first and the third round are both going to be just so. I mean, fuck, man. It probably will come down to the second. Honestly, I don't fuck with that, man. Good fight though.
Yeah, shot to 20 plus in the building. Lucky, what's your thoughts on this matchup right here?
Yeah, people love Josh Van. Johnson is kind of a polarizing fighter. You got some people that love him, some people that hate him. I've always kind of liked the guy. Aaron, we've talked about him for years and years.
Yes,
I think the first time I talked about him was LFA 100. I think that was before we ever even were doing shows together. That was like 2021 or something.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, Josh Van is trying to be active here. He's been really unlucky with 4 canceled bouts in a row. None of the cancellations were on his side. Both of these guys are pretty solid fighters, both kind of slow starters more often than not, like you guys touched on. And, we just kind of talked about him prior to that Ulan-Bekov fight, which was canceled on weigh-in day. And, what I said was I think Van is really good, especially for his age. He's only 22. Johnson's going to be like 10 years older here. I think Johnson not really in the same tier as an Ulan-Bekov. I think we could all agree on that. I think Van can win this fight. It's just not priced in an attractive way for me to want to get behind Van with money here. Like, I think it's a fight he can win, but I think it's a close one. So I would not make him this large of a favorite at all. Both of these guys do similar things well. I do think Van can maybe land, the harder shots, put up a little more volume. So I'm going to favor him to win, but if you guys want to bet on Johnson, you're not getting an argument from me because I feel like the line should be priced closer than it is. So I'll pick Van to win though.
Yeah, plus 180, minus 220 to Van. My real debate right now is Charles Johnson or another fight we'll talk about later for possible Zhang Li. The fight I have in there right now, and I know the person who cares the most about this is 2 cents, my unofficial Zhang Li consultant here, but I know everybody cares about
Dude, I will love it if you put Charles Johnson in there because I already have a parlay with Van in it. So, that's Gucci with me.
So I'm trying to decide because my other parlay is at plus 900, and we like to get it to the 4-figure mark. With Johnson in there, it goes well over almost plus 1,600. So we'll think about it as we go, but Charles Johnson is the side for me as well. And don't have the vet in yet, but thinking at plus 180. So I think it is one of the best fights on the card. All right, next fight here. Another very kind of close, interesting, weird fight where, honestly, I made a bet on this fight without doing any streaming or taping, wherever you want to say on it, any research. This was just one for me that it simply comes down to Josh Fremd has trained in Denver. He has much better cardio in general. He didn't just lose in one of the worst ways you can possibly lose a fight. And in general, it just isn't that good in Andre Petroski. I don't think Andre Petroski ever should have been in the UFC. I think getting ninja choked by Brian Battle does not qualify you to get into the UFC. And then I think he fought whoever, like Mike Happy Gilmore or whoever he fought to get his contract. Like, seriously, like, he shouldn't be here. I don't get the love for him. And when I saw Josh Fremd at plus 105 last week, I'm not trying to be one of these people who talks about the line that's no longer there because I know it's not. But he just shouldn't have ever been an underdog in this spot for me. I think
you're such a Twitter capper, Aaron.
Yeah, that's me. Because go to my Twitter most of the time I'm talking about, I think Nicolas Cage right now. I don't think I've ever put out an official bet on my Twitter. So if you're there for that, I'm sorry.
You know I'm busting.
I do. No, I did. That's fine. Anybody it's all good. But I do think just Josh Fremd is overall better than Petroski. I think in the last fight against Kopylov, he had some, kind of decent moments also, but obviously getting stopped by that liver shot. Nothing that Petroski's going to do. Petroski shouldn't be here. Fremd's not much better, but I do think at altitude in Denver, it's a huge advantage to Fremd as well. So I got him at plus 105. I haven't done any more thinking on this fight. So he probably wins a decision. Cardio kickboxing class 101. Lou?
Yeah, I'm on Petro, but I'm biased as shit here. Like, I'm just I'm biased.
Yeah.
I mean, but
I live in the state too, and I don't give a fuck.
I feel like this is a very easy fight to live bet Fremd. Like after one. I think Petro has most of the finishing upside. I mean, and he gasses, and like Brahma mentioned, like it's hard to, side with a guy. Like, I mean, look, it was a horrible look that he got like Malkoun was outstriking him on the feet. It's a pretty bad look. I get that.
Yeah.
I still think Petrosky's like the more dangerous. If anyone's gonna get a finish here, it's Petro. But if the thing gets extended, like I think Fremd can like just out grapple him, kind of like win top time, win minutes.
Does Petrosky have blonde highlights?
I mean,
I haven't looked at.
I haven't been to the Brazil section of Philly in a while, so I can't say this for a fact. But like, if you like Petro and I do, it's probably Petro early, and if he doesn't get it done early, I think a live bet on Fremd's probably like.
We're gonna see a Caitlin Chikagian like performance from Josh Fremd. Very non-lethal.
And he will probably jab his way to victory. And if Petro's done, dude, I mean, like Fremd's not a scrub on the ground, dude. Like if Petro's done, like you look at these fights that Petrosky's won. It's like Rongju. These are guys that can't grapple. Gilmore, like these are bums that can't grapple. Like Petro fought through his cardio late. Like he was gassed, but he's facing dudes that like cannot stop a fucking takedown. Like
no.
At least Fremd is like competent at that, like can keep it on the feet. I mean, Fremd is a bum too, but like
we're both bums.
But he's probably a guy like for me. I'd rather live bet Fremd. I did bet Petrosky because I'm a glutton for Philly punishment, but I don't love it. I'm in one unit,
Yeah,
I didn't write like a 9-paragraph Twitter thing about why I liked him.
That's good. Yeah, no, mine was just I don't think Fremd should be the underdog. So good luck. We're against each other. Lucky, what's your thoughts on this one?
Oh, good gracious, guys. I got to pick between you and Lou. Jeez. This is certainly a fight that is happening. I think Petrosky kind of sucks. And I'm like, yeah, how is this guy 5-2 in the UFC? And then I'm like, oh, yeah, Michael Gilmore, Hu Yaozong, he's beating Nick Maximov. He's going life or death with Mearshart in the third round. And, the last two fights, he finally gets in there with half-decent opponents, and they both knock him out. He's been knocked out in every loss. The Malkoun one, I still don't really even know what happened. Like, he shot a takedown and knocked himself out on his hips. Like, Tapology is listing that as ground strikes after hard collision. So, do with that information what you will. I'll just chalk it up to a Petrosky moment. I mean, he looked horrible striking with Malkoun. I don't know. He just didn't know what he was doing. And now let's talk about Josh Fremd. Pretty much just as bad. Probably actually worse in terms of raw skills in some places. But, I'm not going to go as hard as on him because, everybody knows he's bad, right? Nobody's campaigning on his behalf. Petrosky tricked people into thinking he was good. And, holistically, when you take everything into account, maybe Fremd is marginally better than this guy. Also at elevation, I think that kind of detracts from the Petrosky case.
Yeah.
I think this fight is pretty much lined, pretty accurately. Pick 'em fight. Maybe you make Fremd like tiny, even money favorite. It's close to 50-50. I'm going to pick Fremd, but, I'm not interested in betting on a matchup between these two guys. I don't think either one of these guys really project with a lot of upward mobility in terms of attacking the rankings. Just not really good enough. So, I'm gonna pick Fremd, but really not with a ton of conviction. I think it's pretty 50-50.
Go ahead, Lou. Yes.
I just want before we pass it to 2 cents, I want to ask Lucky a question. Any feeling about the time props here?
Honestly, I think someone gets finished in this fight. I think the over 1.5 is going to be tight. I think I'll say just over.
Fight doesn't go as minus 160. It's not like unreasonable. That's why I'm.
Yeah,
asking.
I would then for me, I like doesn't go.
Yeah.
If you put a gun to my head and said, is it going to go or not? I'm going to say it doesn't.
I know it's not like you're not like a time prop guy, but that's why I was curious.
No, not really. Yeah. But yeah, I would say Fremd in the distance.
2 cents. Sorry if I'm getting the order confused here because I switched it around there. But 2 cents. Did I?
No, I think this is correct.
Okay, cool.
You know what I'm not gonna do, Aaron? Yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and let you two Fremd backing pieces of shit gang up on my fucking tag team partner right in front of my fucking face, dude. You think I'm gonna let that fucking happen? No way, dude. I know, dude. Yes, it's in Denver. That is the biggest thing going against Petrosky. You put Josh Fremd in against Michelle Pereira, and you see what the fuck happens. Like, yeah, the Malkoun loss is a bad one, but like, I think even Lou said it. Like, naming these dudes, like, yeah, Petrosky looked good because they have shitty takedown defense. You know who else has fucking shitty takedown defense? Josh Fremd. It's like 30-something%. He got taken down like 3 times by Trayshawn Gore. Petrosky can certainly gas, but he's not like he's never won a fucking decision before. I think he's a better wrestler. I think on top, you do not want fucking Andre Petrosky on top of you. So, yeah, give me Petrosky here. I'm not betting it, but, yeah. I think neither one of them are very good, but like, yeah, Fremd is not fucking Michelle Pereira. And like, I think it's even a little bit disrespectful to Malkoun. Like, he's not a bad boxer. He's just not like a powerful dude.
Okay, all right, let's calm down on the Malkoun. Let's calm.
I'm not going to say it wasn't.
Calm down.
I'm calmer than you are. I'm calmer than you are.
Cooler than you are, dude. But yeah, all right. Yeah, Malkoun's a great boxer, sure. Top 50 in the division, at least.
Calmer than you are.
You sure are. All right. Yeah, but last thing I'll just say, like, location. If you're betting Petrosky at altitude, Godspeed to you. Yeah, Fremd is the side for me. And you got Fremd in me in the Zhongli because he's getting added to that as well. So shake your heads in chagrin. Sorry, on this card, beggars can't be choosers. And,
well, now my bets are ruined because the Zhongli can't miss. This is terrible.
Zhongli does
terrible miss. For me.
Zhongli does miss.
It should just be a pass, honestly. It's that kind of fight.
Well, I got him at plus 105 too, so I'm invested. Let's do it. All right.
Did you see over Elder? Oh, we talked about that. Never mind.
What'd you say? Yeah. Elder was the first fight of the night. All right. This is a 2 because Agapova's involved. I don't know if she's homeless or not at this point. I've not texted my direct source who has direct knowledge of all things with Maria Agapova, from her bad knees to her bad credit score to her bad gambling, drug habits, who she chooses to live with. All these things, her life is a mess. Luana Santos is going to go in here and make Maria Agapova look like Juliana Killer Miller, who, by the way, I'll bring this up in every Santos breakdown for the rest of the time. Killer Miller caught Santos early in that fight far too many times before, obviously, she fell off a cliff. Speaking of messes and Juliana Killer Miller. Santos at minus 380 is disgusting, but I don't like Agapova very much in general. I don't think she's physically or mentally healthy. And yeah, she's done. So Santos, and unfortunately the line's probably accurate. Lucky.
Yeah, I mean, predictably I don't have like a ton to say about this fight. You know, Luana Santos is all right. Hasn't shown me enough to where I'm going to come on here and tell you she's the next big thing. But, you know, she's 24. She's not bad. Agapova, I really don't think is good. You know, she got a losing record in the UFC. The one nice thing I have to say about her is she's usually not boring. She's never been the distance in a UFC fight. She finished her 2 wins and was finished in the 3 losses. So total opened at 1.5 rounds for this one. A little total talk here, I guess. I think the over is probably better. You know, it's a women's flyweight fight with a fighter that everyone is expecting to go under 1.5. I feel like the sharper side is probably overs, goes to decision, Santos decision avenues. I have no idea what they're priced at. That's just my initial feeling there. But as you guys will probably not be shocked to hear, digging around for props between Santos and Agapova is not really my modus operandi. So, yeah, I'll pick Santos to win. I'm just pretty low on Agapova's stock right now.
Yeah, this is a complete fade spot on Agapova. And frankly, I'm taking a lazy way out of the Zhongli by adding Santos because I'm not a huge Santos fan at all, but Agapova is that bad. Lou?
I mean, I'm like as the kids say, I'm a stan for Agapova. I can't bet this girl. She's like I mean, what, like, and it's day to day. You have to check in like what she's doing.
Is she alive?
It's not like what she's been doing this last month. It's like, what did she do last night? Like, you have to worry about her. She's not well. It's a mess. And talking to Big Steve about this, and I'm like, he goes, "Oh, she cleaned up her knee." I'm like, okay, is she in a camp? Is she actually like training? I don't think Luana Santos is good. This whole Hashimoto's disease, like, keeping her weight down, like, and she's not great. But like, you look at the two fights. All right, so the two fights that Agapova got like murdered in.
Yes.
Your girl Jill isn't. Let's be honest. Your girl Jill is elite once she gets somebody on the ground.
100%. Yeah.
The Moroz fight. Say what you will. That was literally like a week after Ukraine got like invaded. That might have been one of the last cards that they let people carry flags out. Moroz was never losing, and I had a bet on Agapova because I'm an idiot. Moroz was never losing that fight, dude. She came out to the Ukrainian flag. They had like a big hatred for each other. She just like wrecked her. Like, Moroz is never going to look better than she did in that fight.
Yeah.
Dude, Agapova, everybody's like, her skills though are good. Are they? Like, is beating like Mazo like a real thing? Come on, dude. Like, so like, I look at the number is crazy, and to me, Santos is like not somebody I want to back at -400. To Lucky's point, since now I got all Lucky will do is talk about time props. This guy's a time prop guy now.
Time locks.
To his point, like a gap of every fight's been inside a distance. But I don't think Santos fights a style that's like I think Santos could get takedowns here and really just like Jill, like Aaron, that's your homegirl, and we know this.
Yeah.
Jillian is not get takedown and be okay. Jillian is like how she didn't finish Watterson actually shows the toughness that Watterson had. That wasn't Jillian like
literally Watterson's only.
That was Jillian hunting for like KO for subs. Like, that was Jillian being aggressive. Right. Santos doesn't fight like that. And I can see as this fight gets extended, if Santos is up 2-0, she might get a takedown and be like, yep, I'm good. Santos' decision is +200. I don't think that's a horrible look here.
No.
Like, if you want to cut down on -4, like, by the way, don't parlay Santos because that disgusts me. Parlaying a -400 in a women's fight. It's disgusting.
Longley has no shame with that shit, so we don't care.
Well, you're doing a 5-leg parlay. That's different. You're doing a 5-leg parlay for like 20 to 1.
Correct.
That's different, Aaron. I'm not. That's not a
I know.
Prepare to be disgusted, sir.
All right, pass it down.
All right, perfect segue, Lou. 2 cents.
Yeah, get your fucking gag reflexes ready. You're ready to get fucking gross. Yeah, I got her in a fucking parlay. But yeah, I mean, it's everything that's already been said about Agapova. I said yesterday, I'm not gonna besmirch the chick anymore. That's already been any more than you animals already have. But fucking yeah, I mean, I think Santos is just in a better headspace. I think she'll stay more composed. Like, Agapova is wild, dude, and like, she has a couple good like highlights, but they are against pretty shitty fighters. Like, Santos is like young and good and like actually has a couple UFC fights under her belt. So I don't think it's going to be a total, like, if it was her first fight, I might be like, maybe Maria catches her or something. But I think that's her only win condition is like catching Santos. I don't think Agapova is going to win a decision. I think she's going to go out there wild and fucking crazy and probably, you know, either like, you know, maybe catch what's her fuck, but probably get finished, man. Like, I think Santos, I don't know. I don't hate the decision, but I just feel like Agapova is just going to be a fucking mess. I think she's going to be an emotional wreck. and I think she's just gonna give it whatever the fuck it is that she has, and I think Santos is gonna submit her. So yeah, give me Santos like second or third round submission. And
I like that play too. I'm not a big like second or third, but the reason I like this, I don't think Maria Agapova is capable of making 15 minutes of coherent decisions that will result in her survival.
Damn, dude, exactly.
She's either going to kill
Aaron, you mispronounced 2 minutes.
Yeah, but either way, like I don't like the over, even if it's just, like I don't trust Maria Agapova for 15 minutes.
Do you like Santos in the distance? Because it's not a bad price, dude.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I'm sorry. I looked the wrong number. It's a horrible price. It's a minus 130. Jesus.
Yeah, Christ. That's horrendous. So I'm done talking about this fight and these two ladies.
Hold on. Before you move, well, we're trying to give bets. I'll look it up on Fanatics because they do like FanDuel and Fanatics do these. What about Santos round 2, round 3? Like if you don't think Santos runs through,
I would. That would definitely be because Agapova's best round 2, round 3. What is it?
I'm gonna look it up.
All right, just let us know next time. Yeah, and shout out to General, best supporter in the game. Good man there. All right, next fight, another fight where we got a fighter coming up in weight to 155. This is the weight classes don't matter. Just go ahead and fight camps don't matter. Nothing matters anymore. It's awesome. Drew Dober, however you want to pronounce it, taking on John Silva, coming off of the fight with Moicano. Really disappointing fight there. Obviously got knocked out by Frivola a little over a year ago, and that's a pretty big concern. But for me, like, I get it. The Jourdain fight last week was great. Jean Silva did not make weight for it, but still looked really good there. I was on the Jourdain side. Very, very wrong. I guess he's going to have to show me it one more time because I just think against Drew Dober at 155, I think that Dober's going to kind of show the levels here with John Silva. John Silva leaves a lot of openings with his striking that I do think Dober's going to take advantage of. Dober also can take a shot or 2 or 3, and I get maybe that is starting to wear. Maybe the damage is starting to catch up with him, and maybe we'll find out here that he can't take the shots, but I actually think he kind of does withstand some of the barrage early on of John Silva if it does happen, and I'll take Dober here, so I get it. That might be here for Dober, but John Silva's going to have to show me, and I like it. Dober at minus 110 here. So, Lou, are you here?
Always and forever. This line makes no sense. Now, my tag team partner and I believe we're both on the Silva side, and I almost believe we're on the same side because
I was not. I'm sorry, I can't.
Was that the one? Was that one of the?
It was me and you, Lou. It was me and you.
Yeah,
but that's because Jourdain's a bum that like just does stupid shit, and I didn't think Silva was going to knock him out. I mean, I will say that. I have like two thought processes here that are conflicting, and one is that like these fighting nerds, like, I mean, they just don't lose. But like, my God, dude, everything's against Silva in this fight in terms of like just every metric you can do. It's like short notice. It's up a weight class, right?
Yes.
Short notice, up a weight class. And like this whole, like, is Dober's chin going? I mean, maybe. But look who Dober's fighting, dude. Like,
right.
Moicano couldn't finish him. Like, I mean, and I always like a big power puncher or whatever, but like.
The Frivola fight obviously is the big worry, of course.
But that's a fight where they're both going to just, it's who lands first. More, and Frivola hits like a motherfucker, dude. Like, Frivola's best quality.
Yeah, John Silva's power at 155 is not proven at all.
Well, I think Silva's got power, but I think Dober's got like power that Silva's never seen. If you look through his competition,
agreed.
Like, you have to favor Dober here at the number, but I took the under 1.5. It was even money, I'm like, all right, look, dude, like, because Dober is not gonna he's not gonna go for takedowns here. He could, but he won't because it's Dober and he won't do it. I think this is just standing bet. This isn't an altitude bet. This is just they're gonna just let's rip it. Yeah. And this isn't Jourdain where he's like, I'm gonna do kung fu shit. Dober's like, let's box, ho. And Silva's gonna be like, let's go, dude. I'm happy to just. Silva's the kind of guy who's like, Silva's never gonna fight his style of fight. I love it, dude. Even money.
Yeah.
Silva's like, let's get in the pocket and let's fucking go. Like, that's what this fight's gonna be. Honestly, I think this fight's gonna be a lot like Dober and McKinney, where he's like, let's go, dude. And Dober's gonna, and maybe Dober gets knocked down and gets up and knocks him out. Like, at even money, dude. Let's go.
Yeah, and it is an unknown, but I am curious when Silva found out about this fight, because I imagine he missed weight for the fight for Jourdain. He definitely still rehydrated. He probably was weighing 170 for that fight.
Well, they're conning us on all this stuff now, like with this e-gay thing. Like, they're just conning us, dude. Like,
no,
like, oh my God, it just happened. But like, did it just happen? Like, you knew, dude.
No, that's why I'm saying
they're conning us.
No, I know. You're right. That's actually a good point. 2 cents.
I am going to agree with my my dangerous alliance partner. I like Dober, and I do think it looks similar to the Terrence McKinney fight. But I feel like the only thing that I do in my life anymore in regard to UFC is fade John Silva and just eat fucking shit constantly. So it'll like Dober will probably get knocked out now that I'm put him in a parlay. But yeah, if you like Dober, it's a fucking nice number. John Silva, if his power does carry up, Dober could be in trouble. But I think it's one of those kind of like rubber meets the road. Like, okay, the buck kind of stops here, and he does come up against kind of a brick wall and Drew Dober. So yeah, I'm gonna say it holds up just enough. Like, he gets wobbled and then puts the finishing blows on Silva.
All right. Do we have a unanimous decision here with Dober? Lucky.
Yeah, Dober's supposed to get Mike Davis. Davis tore his bicep. Silva is here on very short notice, up a weight class. Just smoked Charles Jourdain 2 weeks ago at UFC 303. And, Dober, he's from Colorado. He's fighting out of Denver. He's the hometown guy. And the UFC, went out of their way to keep him on this card, get him a new opponent. And, speaking of that Silva and Jourdain fight, I kind of have a similar breakdown. And, what I said about on that fight was, like, I get where people are coming from with Jourdain, but Silva has that spark about him that he could potentially be a real player. He could be in the rankings. And I knew that Jourdain at that point doesn't have that special constituent, which puts him into that elite tier. And I kind of feel the same way about Dober in this day and age. And I hear people saying Dober's a big step up. I don't think Dober at 35, almost 36 is a quote unquote big step up. I do think it's a more challenging matchup. I think straight up Dober's a little better than Jourdain. We're at elevation. It's short notice. He's up a weight class, and Gian Silva is not a lightweight. I know he missed weight, and people think he's bigger. He's not a lightweight. He needs to be at featherweight. So I can definitely concede that we don't have the most concrete proof of concept that Silva can beat Dober. But like I said about Jourdain, like, he might be able to. I think his ceiling's a lot higher than Dober's, in my opinion. But 2 week turnaround, up a weight class. I am going to pick Silva on the basis that. I know Dober isn't among the elite guys at the UFC at almost 36 years old. Silva's has that X factor that Dober doesn't possess anymore, but there are a lot of reasons to be wary on the Gian Silva side this week for sure.
Yeah. I'm sorry to disappoint everybody. I'm not younger and thinner. We can't all be Lucky Locks. All right. That's why Lucky's on the show. He's our young twink. So if you're here for young and thin, we got Lucky Locks. We have old and thin with Lou. And then we have just thin. And then again, really everybody except me is not fat on this. And I'm not even fat. I'm just normal.
Can I ask Lucky a counter question here?
Of course. I should just set up a Skype for you and Lucky.
No, dude. This is respect, dude.
I know.
Respect. So Lucky, here's my question. What does this fight look like if it gets extended to like the third round? Like, who do you favor if the fight goes late?
I mean,
or is it just a shit show? Like,
I mean, I think they're gonna come and go to fucking war, man. I mean, I think Dober probably. I mean, I think given the circumstances, you have to say Dober is probably looking better a little later. Like if he hasn't gotten dropped yet, the chin holds up. He's the guy. He doesn't just train it, not just been there and acclimating. He lives here. He trains here every day. And Silva just fought. He's up a weight class. He's carrying more weight than he's used to. I mean, I think probably Dober round 3. I think the issue would be if Silva is able to take the first round and maybe take half or a little bit more than half of the second. I think that's kind of more where the danger lies on the Dober side. I feel like if it gets to round 3, Dober is probably looking pretty good.
Okay. I mean, like I like to your point, like I get why like you're disagreeing with us. It's to like cause for clout.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Yeah, I can't get enough of that stuff.
If I know anything about
by how active I am on social media.
Yeah. If I know anything about Lucky, it's that he lives for clout.
Yep, and we're gonna move on. We're gonna move a little quicker through the rest of this card because I don't want to be here all night talking about these fights. To be honest, Christian Rodriguez and Julian Erosa. I think this is another one of the very good fights on the card. Julian Erosa coming back from the dead in the last fight there, but obviously it's been deaded, 6-7 times here. No, Lucky's with you on Silva Island. You don't get to be on an island, and Alex is there. Your island is full of people. But Christian Rodriguez and Julian Erosa, I think is a very good fight. Initially, I was leaning towards Julian Erosa because I'm not quite sold on the Christian Rodriguez featherweight experience quite yet. And I do think eventually kind of the frames in this weight class kind of will catch up with Rodriguez. But it's he is very good. I'm kind of curious if this is the fight where we finally see a little more of that killer instinct early. So I kind of have a weird feeling Erosa gets, and it's I guess not that weird because he gets sparked out a lot, but I think he gets sparked early in this fight by Rodriguez. Or Rodriguez just overall is able to kind of edge this one out. But I'd love to see Erosa win it, but I'll take Rodriguez, no action for me. And I got first round finish for Rodriguez. 2 cents. Go ahead.
Dude, this is one of the toughest fights for me to pick, and I still really haven't made up my fucking mind. I mean, I'm going to like right now, but I'm with you, dude. I kind of thought about maybe backing Juicy J. He's still sitting at plus 170, has been for most of the week. Man, I'm not the biggest C-Rod guy, but he's another dude kind of like John Silva that just keeps feeding me fucking crow and like proving my fucking dumbass wrong. So yeah, he probably wins. Like I guess it's more like wanting Juicy J to win than it actually just like what's his condition, like choking him like front. I could see that, I guess, if Rodriguez is like wrestling heavy, Rosa can fishpole him, could maybe hurt him. Like, Rodriguez isn't fighting like Erosa's, he's chinny, but he's a kind of a glass cannon, man. He does kind of have some pop in his punches. So I can maybe see that, but it's probably like more what you said, like he hurts him, maybe knocks him out.
I think Erosa, Erosa does have a route in this fight, and just to answer Nick's question here. I think they're trying to find out if C-Rod has any sort of danger. If C-Rod goes to decision here, I don't know how you can ever pick C-Rod to finish.
Dude, I kind of, man, I don't know that. I'm kind of thinking now that that's what's going to happen. Like even just saying it, like that's what I'm going to say. C-Rod decision.
Yeah, that seems like the most likely outcome. But Lucky, what's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, man, C-Rod's pretty decent. It's just kind of annoying how he tried to make 135 for so long, and like clearly he can't do it or was unwilling to make whatever changes he needed to make to do it. I mean, I'd never book him at that weight ever again. He's just had way too many chances. But from what I hear after this fight, they're going to let him try to do it again. But, he's made that weight once since 2021. Contender Series, he weighed 138. Next fight on the regionals, he was at 150 for a catch weight. Got the short notice call to the UFC, fights at featherweight. Then, the unicorn event, he made 136 against Weems, but missed against Rosas, was 140 against Simon. And it's just really marred what, otherwise has been a really impressive UFC stint. The last fight was at 145. I didn't think he won that fight against Dulgarian. Maybe I'm salty because, I bet Dulgarian. I beat the line by like 20 cents. And then that happened. So maybe I'm a little biased there, but I didn't really feel like he won even on the rewatch. I've just never seen a UFC run with so many asterisks on it. But that said, he is good. I don't think he's quite as good as a lot of people, give him credit for. I feel like his finishing ability that he displayed on the regionals doesn't really seem to have transferred over to the UFC that much, except against Weems. But I mean, it's like, come on, like you better be winning inside the distance in that matchup. And I think his strength is almost better represented as like an overall well-roundedness, paired with, I guess, a lack of glaring weaknesses. Erosa, on the other hand, not really a super strong UFC fighter. He has had 2 different stints in the organization. He's 500. He's crafty. He can beat you a lot of different ways. Usually loses the same way, though, which is by knockout. And, maybe I'm underrating Rodriguez's finishing equity in this fight, but I kind of feel like I'm with you 2 cents. I think he's winning a decision. I think it could play out kind of closely, to be honest. And, I don't make C-Rod a minus 2XX favorite here at all. There's probably a bit of value on Erosa, but I'm going to pick C-Rod to win.
Yeah, and honestly, hearing that he has plans to go back down to 135, I hate that. I mean, because Erosa is, like, honestly, one of the more, like, unique 145 frames anyways. So, like, that kind of speaks to some seeds of insecurity from Rodriguez about his ability in this division. And I do think Erosa is kind of a guy who I don't think he's done by any stretch yet. So definitely want no action with Christian Rodriguez right now. Lou.
I gotta channel my 2 cents from like a year ago. I'd be like, all y'all motherfuckers, I'm here to correct you. Dude, the over on this fight for the chinniest dude that allegedly Erosa, and he's chinny. I'm not saying he's not.
He's very chinny.
Of course he is. But the over 2.5 here is minus 165. You don't find that interesting? Because that over correlates to a decision. Well, if this is a decision, how does it play out? I think Erosa is a way better mixed martial artist than C-Rod. And I don't need to wait for the scales. Let's assume C-Rod weighs in at 149. Because he's Christian Rodriguez.
Yeah.
He lives to be fat. I think Erosa is a better mixed martial artist in all facets of the game than C-Rod. I think C-Rod's okay. He's a grinder. Lucky brought up a good point. He's not thrilled about C-Rod at minus 2XX. I don't think C-Rod's the kind of guy you want to bet at minus 2XX. Like against Simon, like when you get like against Bulgarian, when you're getting C-Rod at like plus money or like low minus, that's when you like betting C-Rod. Minus 200 or against fucking Rosas. I don't love betting C-Rod as like, because how does C-Rod look like a minus 200 favorite here if he's not getting a finish? He's not out grappling Erosa. Like Erosa's a good grappler, decent on the feet. Like Erosa's whole lines are predicated on him being a chinny bum. So if C-Rod doesn't knock him out, how does he cover minus 200? I don't understand how he does. I saw like what Clown Show says Erosa's a bum. No, he's a chinny guy. He's got talent. He's just, has no chin.
Go to rebuttal by Nick Alexander, though. Both bums.
Well, if they're both bums, you take the dog. It's like an auto click. If you think they're both terrible, you take the dog. That's how you gamble. Like you take the dog every time if they're both terrible. So I like Erosa here, dude. I haven't gotten there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, so the bet I'm going to give to you is this. Live bet Erosa after 1. Because if he dies, it's going to be in the first. And if C-Rod's not knocking him out in the first, what does the fight look like? Maybe there's grappling. Maybe it's just distance striking. Like, has C-Rod proven to us at this level that he's just got that power? Like, who's knocked Erosa out? Choi? All right, well, he hits hard. The Caceres fight is a little,
Caceres one, the Padilla one's not, no shame in the Padilla one.
But Caceres is like a super talented fighter with like a lot of looks.
And the way he knocked him out is in a way that Christian can't.
So, look, maybe live bet Erosa. Like if this thing, maybe it does. But if it goes to decision, and as the line says, I kind of like Arosa in the decision here. I do. I like him like being just a more experienced, better guy. Last thing I'll say before we move on, Aaron, wait for the scales, dude, because C-Rod very easily come in at 149, 150. Dude's missed weight a bunch of times. He doesn't give two fucks about missing weight. So what if he comes in at 150 here? Like, would that shock you?
No.
So like, wait for it. Like, if he has it's he's terrible.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna move on to the next fight, but that's good stuff. I got to everybody on that fight. Just want to make sure I didn't. Okay, cool. All right, we're gonna move on to the next fight here, which honestly we ended it with Lou on the last fight, but I don't know how we can't start with you. Lou, lead us off for this breakdown. I'm gonna actually let you set the table. Go ahead.
I like Cody Brundage here. He's my friend.
Yes.
No, I don't believe that.
30-second breakdown, then I'll give it to you guys.
Okay.
If this thing gets out of the first round, I don't know how Cody's not 100% capped as the winner, because it means he actually grappled.
Right.
Also, I have threatened Cody that our friendship's over if he doesn't grapple. So my pick is Cody Brundage, round 1 submission. That's it.
All right. I'll make this pretty quick as well, and then I'll turn it over to you, 2 cents. But yeah, I also was on the Cody Brundage side, been on it since last week before I spoke to Lou. Cody Brundage, unfortunately, is not a friend of mine, but it's not like he's not a friend of mine. We're just not friends. So I do not bet Cody Brundage all that normally. Wasn't crazy about how he's looked in some of the fights, like the Malkoon fight. And I think he could definitely take some shots and be out very early in this one. Al Hassan, very, very dangerous. No USADA as well anymore. Very dangerous. He's had some bad luck in his life, and he brings in the octagon with him. And Cody Brundage has gone to the nether region before. Unfortunately, I think he's going to have to do that here. And by that, I mean just dig into that crotch, baby. Wrestle. By the second round, the fight should be his. So I got Cody Brundage as well at plus 150 last week. So let's go, Cody. Survive, please. Go ahead. 2 cents.
All right, here it comes. Here comes the Marty Jannetty.
Don't do it.
The Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels fucking sweet chin.
Oh no!
I know things were going so well. I wanted to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh God, yeah, I know. I wanted to back.
Well, say it like Shawn Michaels. I'm sorry, and I love you. You gotta say it like Shawn Michaels. I love you.
Boom, and here comes the sweet chin music. So, it's a 50-50 though. I mean, I get it. I get like Brundage can totally sub him. I just think it's gonna be that or he gets sparked out, and I just got a bad feeling. I got a bad feeling Cody's going to be winning until he's losing. So, yeah, give me Al-Hassan by knockout. But I will have the respect enough to just stay the fuck away. I do think Cody's a live dog, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if he wins.
Yeah, Cody's not in the Zhongli. I'll just say that right now. One single bet was enough. Lucky, what's your thoughts on this fight here?
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I don't think it's particularly, the most high-level one on the card. Razak, he's not great. He's a guy that I would make a sizable underdog to a lot of guys. Not to Cody Brundage, though. I know Brundage, Colorado boy, trains there. Razak also has a Colorado connection. He's at Team Elevation right now, if I'm not mistaken. And, I get that, he can gas, and he's had other fights where he's had great third rounds, though. Like in the Buckley fight, he was kicking Buckley's ass in the third. And Razak, I feel like, is fighting against, a higher caliber of opponent in general than Brundage is. Neither of these guys go the distance often. I think both are going to come out to finish this one early. I kind of see Brundage either, getting memed in round one or, kind of like 2 Cents said, winning until he's not. I feel like he could be revving the engine until he's out of gas the whole first round and then get chinned in the second. So I just feel like he's always kind of liable to look for the door a little bit. We've seen him do it before. I can't really trust him, to be honest. I think that not that Razak is super trustworthy either, but I feel like Razak probably also is the more energy efficient style of the two as he's gotten older in terms of the economy of movement. I'm going to concede, Razak, people talk up his, his judo background and say, oh, he's a great grappler. He does struggle with, lower body takedown defense for sure. He doesn't have like impermeable resistance to takedowns, but I don't know if people think Brundage is going to wrestle him for 15 minutes or hold him down for long periods of time. He just doesn't really do that much. I think his win condition is probably also the KO. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like Brundage is probably going to get chinned here. I never thought I'd be saying this in 2024. I bet Razak. I bet him at minus 145 on Monday. I feel like he looks minus 150 at worst. So I said if he gets below there, I'll make the bet. The line dipped. I took a position.
You suck, pal.
Yeah, that's rude. Inappropriate.
Yeah, dude, that was so awkward when Lou said that. I was like, oh, really?
You suck. You suck.
You know what doesn't suck, though, is the use of impermeable, dude. That is a nasty description.
This fucking kid is the future of this world.
Can we just all agree under 1.5 is probably like the smash spot ever?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We can all agree. That's what we should all be on together as a team.
I already bet it. It's 135. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, Cody,
well done.
Cody ain't there to be there for 8 minutes. And Al-Hassan's like,
no, neither one there for a long time. Plus 140 to Cody Brundage, minus 165 on Al-Hassan. Yeah, I'm excited about that fight. Next fight. I have not hopped off the Gabriel Bonfim bandwagon yet. He had a learning experience against Nicholas Dalby. These things happen. Gabriel Bonfim is the superior Bonfim brothers. Do not forget that, people, at all. He is multiple levels above his brother, and I think he is in a good get-right spot here against I'll kill you, Anja Luce, who is losing badly to Brian Battle before getting out of that fight with a prayer of a decision or of a whatever stoppage for the eye pokes. His 2 wins over guys who are warm bodies for the most part. I think Bonfim schools him, gets back into winning, finishes him probably by submission. Gabriel Bonfim is legit and reminds people why. 2 cents. If you're on Lusa, I might not be able to have you on the show anymore.
No, copy paste what you said.
That's fine. All right. There's really not a lot to say about this fight. If you're the smartest guy in the room, let me know. Lucky Lux.
Yeah, I don't think Lusa is really that good. And I know people are in a rush to call Bonfim a fraud, but he's not a fraud. He's good. He's a legit prospect to me. He gassed out and lost to Dalby. He was in Brazil, tried to put on a huge show and win in 3 seconds, and didn't pan out that way. Lusa has beat AJ Fletcher, Reese McKee. Like, okay, I bet him as an underdog against Fletcher, but Bonfim really should beat him here. I know we're at elevation. People are scared of the cardio, but Lusa, in my opinion, is just not on his level. I think he's several tiers below. I think Bonfim finds a way to beat this guy, and I think there's a number of options available to him to do it. So I just don't think Lusa does anything particularly well. I think it's Bonfim here.
Yeah. Lou.
Lusa's almost been finished by decisionators like AJ Fletcher. I took Bonfim 1-2, no method, even money.
Smart.
Solid parlay piece. You want to speed the show up? That's the bet.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to rush us out here, but it's just there's not much to break down here.
So there you go. I gave you a 9-second breakdown for that one.
Yeah, no, minus 340 plus 270.
If you want to spend more time, we can go back to Cody.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on that. I'll let you cover that on all your other platforms. Co-main event time. Santiago Ponzinibbio, the Argentine dagger, taking on the king of kung fu, Muslim Salikov. Another absolute circus. Combined age of 78 years old in this fight. This fight's not an MMA fight. It's storming here in Pennsylvania. So hopefully we keep the internet going here.
I'm the king of Pennsylvania. What are you talking about? It's storming here in Pennsylvania.
Apparently every capper lives in Pennsylvania. I don't want to see any of them. But I'm just saying, I'm just in the land of cappers. But this fight, I don't know I just had a weird feeling in this one. I think Muslim Salikov catches Santiago Ponzinibbio sometime early on. Ponzinibbio, it's never been the same since coming back from near death, where he was like septic and after his surgery and lost all the weight, and just he's never quite been the same. Like one win in his last 3, and it was against Morano. And frankly, it was not a very impressive win either. Morano was catching him quite a bit also in that fight. I just think that Ponzinibbio, sure, he can win this fight, but he was put out pretty brutally in that fight with Kevin Holland. I think he used up a lot of his last bullets by surviving against Jeff Neal to get a split decision. But I'm not betting Muslim Salikov either here. I just don't think either one of these guys should be minus 200. So Muslim Salikov, it's going to be a stand-up war. And I just, I could see it also going to distance very easily with these two older gentlemen. Lucky.
Yeah, some elder statesmen of the welterweight division here. And I know they're old, but, these guys, especially in their heyday, were pretty high level. Both men are coming off knockout losses. Salikov's was 4 months ago, so that's not really great. He's been knocked out twice in his last 3 losses, twice in 2 years. He's 40. There's not many fights left where Ponzinibbio can be the younger man by 2-3 years, but he found one. So, good for his manager, I guess. Ponzinibbio, I think, tad more tread on the tires at this stage. I do think this line is off. I don't know why he's over minus 200 here. I'd make him closer to like minus 130, minus 135-ish. Yeah. I think in this day and age, there is more to like on the Ponzinibbio side than the Salikov side. Bit younger, bit better results in the interim. He KO'd Moreno, fought to a close decision with Michel Pereira. And, Salikov's only win in the last 2 years was Andre Fialho. So, got put up by Randy Brown. He wasn't really a big power guy, and that was very recently. So I'm going to pick Pons, but, it's a wide line. I'm not getting involved.
All right. Luke?
I have no bet on this fight, no bet on the main event.
These are gross fights. These are bad fights.
I'd favor overs. This is terrible. This is gonna fit in like the Anthony Smith, like these terrible co-mains that we've had and these fucking. Mm-hmm. I know it's not an Apex card, but like Jesus Christ, this is gonna be 15 minutes. Card. It's gonna be overs gang stand up, dude. This is gonna be 15 minutes of fucking stupidity, and like everybody's like Salikov's washed, man. It's like was Ponzinibbio. By the way, the Ponzinibbio fight that you guys brought up, where he won in the 3rd round, Moreno won the first 2 rounds on a fight he took on like 6 days' notice.
He was catching him.
Like he died.
Didn't he drop him in the 2nd round? Pretty
sure. Yeah, and then he just died. Moreno just cardio died. Mm-hmm. Like, this is going to be a sparring match, man. So, you know what? Actually, the over 2.5 is even money. If I have to give away a bet, I like fight goes here, dude. I think this is like, I feel like if somebody gets knocked out, it's early. And if this thing gets out of the 1st round, it's a very simple, like, over at that point. It's just spar. So yeah. I like the overs here quite a bit. Now that I'm looking, like, by the way, am I betting it? No! Mm-hmm. My night ends with, like, Bonfim parlay piece.
Yeah.
Because you know me, Aaron. I love parlaying minus 400 guys. But I do think he's safe.
Yeah.
Ass. Can't wait to get to the main event.
I'm telling you, the Luana Santos Bonfim 8-unit parlay, congratulations. Go ahead and cash it. Go ahead. Good job. Good job. You're minus 176.
I know a prominent capper that has that exact parlay.
Oh, well, I'm blocked by him now, so I didn't know. Does he really have that parlay?
I don't think. Well, or is it one of the 3 people you think it is?
Well, I'm blocked by probably all 3, so that's fine. It's fine. I'll talk to you about it later. That's fine. All right, 2 cents. What's your thoughts on? You're an old man. What's your thoughts on these old?
Fucking piece of shit. Well, I mean, technically, so
you are.
I'll wear it somewhat, not so proudly, but yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of with Lou. I think it's gonna be. I think they're both gonna kind of be a little gun shy. They both just got KO'd pretty fucking brutally recently. Obviously more so recently for Muslim, but Muslim's just too low volume for me, man. He can knock Ponzinibbio out. Obviously, like Ponzinibbio has been knocked out more times than him, and he does not have a very good chin. Not a ton of resistance against heavy-handed strikers, and Salikov does crack, man. But he's just, I think if anybody's winning the decision, I think it's Ponzinibbio. I think he's going to put up way more volume. Well, not way more, but I think he will put up more volume. And yeah, maybe a couple scary moments here and there, but I think he can kind of do the same to Muslim. So yeah, give me Ponzinibbio by split decision.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Both guys been knocked out. Muslim more in recent. Lucky, what's your thoughts on the combined 78-year-old matchup?
I already told you, so we're good to go.
Yeah, you did. My bad. Sometimes I get very confused on the order. I really, I apologize. All right. Minus 110 on the over 2.5. Minus 192. Minus 190 to Ponzinibbio. Plus 160 to Muslim. All right. Main event time. Short notice. Main event, and it is. Is this a 5-round fight? Or are they going 3?
It's 5.
Yeah, so it is 5. Tracy Cortez taking on short notice against Rose Namajunas. Kind of going to keep it short and sweet. I don't want anything to do with betting Rose Namajunas at this point. I'm not really sure. Even coming off of that last fight with Ribas, it was good enough, but still kind of a lot of moments of low, kind of volume and kind of questionable decisions at points. And I'm just not really sure what 125 Rose Namajunas really means still at this point. I feel like any fight could be the last fight. And yeah, I just don't really want much to do with it at the same point. I'm also not sure, what Cortez looks like if she can't just get the takedowns at will in this fight. I think it looks pretty bad for her. But I could see her winning a decision at the same point. I'll take Rose Namajunas by decision, but I just expect this to be a pretty low volume and low intensity main event. So I think these last 2 fights are pretty bad. Lou, what's your thoughts on this one?
I will have turned this card off after the Bonfim fight.
That's fair.
So that's my official prediction for this fight is that I am not interested. Overs are juiced. Honestly, I don't really see a Cortez path. Like on the feet, it's Rose pitter-pattering but then you have Rose who's like, oh, I could just come out and do nothing. So I don't know, man. Why would I want to get involved in this crap, dude? I don't. It's a horrible main event. I have no interest. I don't give Rose is one of my least favorite people ever in the UFC. Cortez is fine, but she has no grappling path here. She's not gonna top time Rose. So Rose by decision probably happens. I'm not even gonna watch it, dude. I'm turning the whole shit off. Pay my tab, go home, pretend to love my girlfriend. That's, by the way, that's minus 300. Me to leave the bar and pretend to love my girlfriend, minus 300.
Dude, if you're not slamming that with Bonfim and Santos this weekend,
dude.
Put that with 90 and Santos.
90 units.
That's the saddest thing I've heard all day.
Rose by decision is the for the show, just to give a pick. Rose by decision.
Right.
Bring the shit
honestly, if you have a problem with us being honest about not watching this because sorry.
It's a terrible main event, dude.
And
Macy would have been a great fight.
And I haven't brought this up yet. Can you imagine how dead this fucking crowd is going to be for this entire event? There's going to be 7 people there.
No.
You think it's going to be full?
Well, when's the last? No. But when's the last time they were in Colorado? It's still
they come every year to Denver. Denver's one of those annual spots for them. I doubt this is a full crowd.
You know where they should have been? And Lucky knows this because Lucky's such a pervert. You know where they should have been? They should have gone to Salt Lake City so that my dude could have gotten on the mic and been like, where are my Salt Lake City bitches?
They should have.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, Jose Johnson.
No,
I don't know who you're talking about. You lost this, Lou.
Ishihara, dude. He won that
oh yeah.
He won the fight on the undercard, and they're like, who do you want to fight next? He goes, I don't care. Where are my Salt Lake City bitches?
Sorry,
that was the whole thing. He's like, I don't care who I fight next.
You're right.
Women.
I forgot about Ishihara's call out from Salt Lake City card. My mistake. 2 cents. Please get me out of this hole.
Yeah, Rose decision. I think it's not something I'm betting, but I think it's a levels fight. It's kind of like what Lou said. It's like I don't really see. I guess robbery, like that would be Tracy Cortez's path. Like she does have a fucking booty, and like I could see them wanting to push her if they're like, we can't. Well, I don't know who won.
Was the last Denver card the Valentina Shevchenko and Juliana Pena? Was that the last time they were in Denver?
Sure. I'm honestly not sure, but yeah.
When she submitted Pena, this was before she was champ. If that's the case, I was at that card, and that was a while ago. So my mistake there. If that's the last time they were in Denver, it will be a live card even for this kind of fight card. Unfortunately, Lucky, you get to close us out, and then we'll go around for final thoughts, and the Zhongli will be formed.
Yeah, so Cortez is on short notice ish. She was training for a fight against Marina Maverick next week. Obviously, different location, 5 rounds set of 3 at elevation. Main event in Rose's home state in Colorado, and Rose is 1-1 so far at flyweight. Lost to Fioro, which is understandable. Beat Hebas. I don't know if she's really a full-fledged 125er. Rose is 32. She's not old, but she's been in the game a long time. 15 UFC bouts to her name. She's won championships. She's had huge moments. Been to the top of the mountain, and I'm not sure how much motivation there is to get back there. Cortez is younger. She's 5-0 in the promotion. I think her head is in the game a little bit more at this juncture. Measurables are pretty much the same on these women. I think Cortez, a little more filled out, a little more natural 125-pounder. Has the grappling upside. We'll see how much that really manifests itself here. I mean, Rose was taken down 4 times by Hebas, who, good grappler, not that big for the weight. And, Rose was rendered pretty inactive by the third of the takedown against Esparza, obviously. And Cortez has been making improvements in the striking game. She put up 103 on Jasudavicius, vast majority of which were at distance. And, obviously Rose is a much better striker. But, statistically speaking, Cortez lands more strikes at a better accuracy, gets hit less on a permanent basis. But, just titanically lower level of competition compared with Rose Namajunas, obviously. I'm not trying to make any type of outlandish claim in that regard. So, Rose is far and away the better striker. I know it's a home game for her in Denver. I don't know, man. At this price, with where Rose is head at, I don't know. She's not at, she's not with Trevor Whitman anymore. She's got, her new corner going for her. I just don't know how much she is really in the game here. I feel like Cortez really is in the game. And at this price, I don't need Cortez to be better than her. At this price. And I haven't bet anything yet, but I do think in 2024, Rose versus Tracy Cortez is a closer fight than people think. So I wouldn't count out Tracy in this one.
Well said.
Can I ask Lucky one question to get out of here?
Yeah, sure.
Do you think Rose fights down to her competition in spots like this?
I don't think she used to, but I feel like that's becoming more of, I just don't know if she has that fire to go out. She's, like I said, she's won championships. She's had these huge moments. She's up at a weight class now.
2XX. Like we talked about C-Rock.
Yeah, I don't like the price, personally. I don't like the price. I wouldn't play -200 on Rose here. And I think there is a good chance that she does that. I get when people are like, oh, there's not a really clear path for Cortez. I get it, man. But, they're, like I said, -180 or plus 185, plus 190. I don't need her to be better. So, we'll see where I get to. I haven't bet anything here, but I do think I'd rather probably, gun to my head, hit Cortez than Rose on the money line.
Yeah, no, fair enough. But I don't think any of us are really getting there with any of this. And Kiwi Brew with the corner of Pat Barry age is just an jeez. All right, what better place to go into the end of the? Yeah, that's always nice. All right, we're going to go into kind of our final bets here. The Zhongli will get formed. And, I think that I'm going to make a change to the Zhongli possibly last second here. So trying to decide if I want a Rosa in there or not. But we'll just go around real quick. Lucky, any plays or particular bets you like on the rest of it? They haven't been mentioned or mentioned. They just want to mention one more time.
Yeah, I mean, I literally do not have anything yet, except much to Lou's chagrin, I do have Razak minus 145. That that line's gone. I'm sorry about that. I bet it on Monday. What can we do? It's Wednesday, so that's the only thing I have. You guys know where to find me on Twitter, and yeah, thanks for having me on the show. It was fun to get back at it after a week off.
Yeah, no, this was a great breakdown of it. Honestly, of a terrible card. 2 cents. Got any bets that you want to mention? Thank you for being here as always.
Yeah, first and foremost, thank you as always for having me. And shout out to you guys on the panel. Shout out to the whole fucking chat. Everybody smash the like button for Aaron for sure. And yeah, I'm not going to be doing my pregame or I'm not going to be at the pub this Saturday either. The Fam Bam is coming into town tomorrow, so I will be chilling with them. But my big play this weekend is a parlay. It's Jackson, Santos, and Bonfim. It's plus 166. I got a unit on that, and that's my big one. And then I forgot that I normally never do this. Like normally the coin is reserved for fights that I'm not betting, but I forgot I already fucking put Fatima Klein in a parlay. So I don't know if that's
worked out.
Bad. So no, but
the coin agreed with the bet.
So this one is Van Klein and Dober for plus 420. So that could be a good sign. But I don't have a ton on that. And I'll be tailing Zhang Li, and that's my whole slate, man. So best of luck, everybody. Thanks again, Aaron. And yeah, let's crush this fucking UFC Denver.
And we are saving the best for last, which is the Zhang Li parlay. Because Lou is going to go last. Lou, that was the joke. You don't get jokes, though, because you're the only one who can make jokes.
Oh, yeah, I'm so humorless.
Lou, go ahead. What's your favorite bets on? Go.
I hope Lucky knows that every time I ask him a question on the show, it's unlocking his, insane skill. That's why I set him up with these questions. I've never asked him bad questions on air. So he's like, how do you think about this? How do you think about that? But now I can set him up where I'd be like, would you bang her? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not going to promote anything. You asked about bets? Yeah. Honestly, dude, I don't agree with Lucky about the Al Hassan pick. But that fight, at the under 1.5 here should be minus 9 million. And I hammered that under already. I took all my Euro winnings, of which there are so many. If you follow me on Twitter at this address.
Correct. Great soccer follow.
I just don't know how to. If this fight goes over 1.5, I blame Cody. We're not friends. How does this fight just? It should be 90% this fight goes under, man. Honest to God.
I agree.
If you're going to make one bet on this card, just hammer the under. It's minus 135, dude. Come on, dude.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Zhang Li, going to close this out here. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you, Lucky, 2 cents, and Lou. Thank you for making the time. And honestly, making this card much better than it should have been. If it was just me on this stream, it would not have been a very good show as every week. So I appreciate the panel. Appreciate the chat, over 20 plus in the chat throughout, which I still don't understand how that happens. So I appreciate that. Zhang Li parlay, if you're not familiar, 5 money line parlay. It's a very layman parlay. Cash 5 or 6 this year, well into the green. We're starting out on the parlay with Montel Jackson. I am putting the minus 380 Luana Santos in here because the Zhang Li does not care. It is just 5 money line parlays. They need to be right. Josh Fremd is still in there, even though he has become the favorite. I did decide to switch out Drew Dober and put in Juicy J for a couple reasons here. For one, I do feel that John Silva is just a much more dangerous opponent in this spot. There's a lot more unknowns, I think, in some potentially bad ways for Silva. And just overall listening to the info. So I did switch Juicy J in there. Now I don't have to contemplate betting Juicy J otherwise. And closing it out is another over minus 300 in Bonfim. He's just the right play here. Gets the plus 1423 right now. So go ahead and put it down right now. but the Zhongli not being 4 digits doesn't feel right. So that is the 4 again: Montel Jackson, Luana Santos, Josh Fremd, Juicy J, Julian Rosa is the big dog on there, and then Bomb Theme plus 1423 at the time of recording. So that's going to do it. It is the switch. If you want to go with the Dober instead of the Juicy J, which I probably will also do because I'm a degenerate, plus 900 there. So those are the 2 parlays. Thank you all. We'll see you next week for the show. It's another banger, I'm sure. Peace out.